Hey guys, this is Stephanie and I am Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Today I am coming to you guys with my summer TBR. And I know it's felt like summer here for a little over a month, but technically, summer only began a few days ago. So I picked out 24 books that I would like to read this summer, and we will see how that goes. I will do a brief recap of my spring TBR. I had 21 books on that list, and I wanted to read half of them, and I got 9 of them read. Not the best 3 months of reading, but I did get a lot of books read, if that counts for anything. So some of them I decided to carry over to the summer because I'm still in the mood to read them, and some of them I'm just putting off a little while longer because why not? The 9 I did get read are Golden Sun, Wool, Cruel Prince, Bear Town, Wicked Lovely, Warbreaker, The Guernsey Literacy and Potato Peel Pie Society, City of Lost Souls, and The Picture of Dorian Gray. All in all, I did pretty well for my spring reading. Like I said, I have quite a few that I'm carrying over. I got pretty busy the last few weeks of spring, so my reading was a little low, but I am back in the mood to read, so let's get on with it. Like I said, I have 24 books that I think I'll be in the mood to read this summer. I think, it's hard to tell, but I'm gonna start with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Volume 1 and Volume 2. I actually started this one, gosh, months ago, and I think I only got like, I don't know, 15 pages in. I didn't get very far into it, but I liked it, and I was like, ooh, I need to read this. So I'm actually gonna try and read these 2 before the end of summer. I do have the whole series up here, so I guess if I like it, I might keep going. I don't know. And I did go ahead and drag Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, I think, over from my spring TBR because I didn't get it read yet, but I want to get it read, but I also want to read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I think I read the Cliff Notes of this in high school. I think. I'm not positive because I remember most of it, but I'm fairly confident that this chunker was not read by this girl. So I would like to read this one this summer as well as Rebecca. Yeah, 2 big ones. And the last classic I want to get read is Murder at the Vicarage, the first Miss Marple mystery by Agatha Christie. Now, I've kind of been in the mood to read some Agatha Christie lately. I just got done watching Crooked House, the movie that was made, I think it was made last winter, I can't remember. But it really put me back in the mood to read more Agatha Christie. But the problem is, I keep reading them, and they're not technically classics. They're just older books. Like, they're not all classics, all her books. They kind of should be, but I don't know where they fall in the midst of like my reading resolutions that I set in January. So I don't know what they count as exactly, but they always count as good for me. And if I'm still in the mood, I might continue on and read more of these. Who knows? But I do want to get some Agatha Christie in the summer. I don't think I read any this spring, and that is sad. And being summer, I am usually in the mood for a little bit more contemporary. I actually read like 2 contemporaries last month, maybe 3, I can't remember now, and I was like, who is this person? I never read contemporaries. A couple of them really fell flat for me, and that's probably why I don't read contemporaries, but I have a short stack of them here, which I'm excited to talk about. The first one is going to be Big Little Lies by Elaine Moriarty. I'm trying to get this one read probably very first week of July so I can finish up the readathon, the TBR readathon that I am participating in, so I'm probably going to be picking this one up very, very soon. I don't know exactly what it's about. I know it's contemporaries and our world contemporary. There's like a murder at the beginning. It has to do with like housewives and stay-at-home moms and kids, and you don't know who killed who, you don't even know who's dead and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I can get on board with that. That's kind of how the beginning of Little Fires Everywhere started, and I turned out not to like that one. So I'm hoping this one I will like better. I am also wanting to get read Eleanor Elephant is Completely Fine. I do not remember the author, but I'll put the picture right here. I'm hoping I can get it finished by the end of the month, but I didn't get it finished before the end of the spring. So this one will definitely be read by summer because I'm almost done with it now. We're following a gal named Eleanor whose life is, you could say, boring, predictable. She has some definite like social awkwardness. I don't know if there's Asperger's in there or not, but she definitely doesn't understand all social cues. Who does? But it is a story about her navigating this social world as an adult and learning to be more of an adult. And her and a colleague see this older man collapse in the street, and they go and help him and call 911 and all that kind of stuff. And It kind of is a slice of life book, and the last like 3 that I've read of those I haven't loved, so I'm nervous, but I am liking this. I am liking this. The next contemporary I am going to be reading this summer is Us Against You by Frederick Backman. Now, I read Beartown just this month, and that's the first one, and then this one apparently like just came out, so I just got it in from the library, so I'll probably be reading it fairly soon. And I'm not going to go into detail about this because it's the second book in a series. I feel like I would spoil the first book, but I will be talking about the first book in my June wrap-up, and I'll be spoiling the living crap out of it. So if you don't want to be spoiled, just be sure to fast forward to that part, because I don't feel I can actually talk about the book without massive spoils, just so you know. And then, of course, my summer wouldn't be complete without a little bit of Morgan Matson. I am going to be reading Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, which is one I started and I got like a quarter of the way through like last summer because we were traveling a bunch, and it's a fun book to read while you're driving, I think. But I may not wait till we're driving, though we are doing quite a bit of traveling this next month. I will probably try and finish it before that because, well, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to finish it. It is about 2 people who don't know each other very well, and then they go on a road trip together. And one of the cutest parts is like at the beginning of lots of the chapters, they have like playlists of what we're listening to while this part of the book is going on. They have like receipts, so you know what like road snacks they're getting and the importance of the right road snacks. And it's just too cute for words. And of course, I also grabbed Save the Date, also by Morgan Matson, from my library. So I only have like a week and a half to get this one read, but I am going to get it read because there's a really long wait list behind me. So I got to get on that. But I'm excited to read this one. I am not 100% sure about it. I think this girl, whose name I don't know, her sister's getting married that summer, and she's trying to make it like absolutely perfect, something along those lines. And then on the back, there's a picture of a girl with a dog. That's how you sell a book to me. Put a dog on the cover and I will probably read it. I'm hoping I get through all these contemporaries, and I'm hoping that I like them. I don't always like contemporary, and I know lots of people on BookTube really do, so sometimes it can be a little hard because they talk about how great these books are, and then I read them and I'm like, nah. But that's because it's contemporary, and I just don't enjoy that as much as other people, so that's where I sit. But apparently I'm giving quite a few a shot this summer. The next book I will be hoping to read this summer is A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This one was the favorite of Game of Tomes. I don't remember which gal liked it, but one of them really liked it, so it was the best book she read last year. So it has been on my list to read, and I haven't gotten to it, so I'm hoping I can get to it this summer. It sounds interesting. All I really know is I think it's about aliens, so it's kind of a sci-fi book, which I'm okay with that. And yeah, so I want to read it. And then I think it's a series. I think the second book is out and the third is coming out. I don't know, I'll get to that later. The next one I want to read is Time Ships by Stephen Baxter. This is one my brother-in-law gave me, and it's actually a sequel to The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, which I read just a few months ago. So I want to get to this one. I was going to get it in the spring, but my spring got busy and I didn't read it. So I'm hoping I can get to it this summer. I'm also going to be trying to get to Girl of Fire and Thorn Stories by Ray Carson. These are 3 short stories that go with the trilogy of books that I read a few years ago. So I kind of want to just read these and kind of wrap up that series for me. In addition to which, this one is also on my readathon TBR, so I kind of need to get it read soon. The next one I am hoping to read is The Martian by Andy Weir. This one you've probably seen on my TBR a few times. I keep wanting to read it, and then I'm just never quite in the mood to read it, but I'm thinking September. I know that's a few months out, but it's still technically summer, and I'm thinking that's the time I'm gonna read this one. I do have a lot of hype on this one, like built up in my head. I'm hoping it lives up to the hype. I really did like the movie, so we'll see. The next one I'm hoping to read is New York, and this is by Edward Rutherford, I think. And I wanted to get this one read before I leave for New York City. I'm going to New York City with my sister on her 40th birthday trip. I am very, very excited. We have lots of fun things planned, Broadway shows, tourist things. It'll be amazing fun. I can try and vlog about it. If you guys think that's interesting, let me know and I will see what I can do at getting footage. But I want to get this book finished by then. I am like halfway through it, and then I had to take it back to the library. So I need to get it back from the library. I haven't gotten it back and I haven't put myself on the list yet, so I need to do that. But I really did enjoy it. This is kind of a New York from the beginning, working its way through time, and it comes up to fairly modern day. And I think I left off somewhere like right around the Revolutionary War. Right around there is where I'm leaving off. And I'm a little over halfway through the book, I think. So I feel like if I just buckle down, I can get through this. The next book that I'm hoping to read during the summer is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Now, I have no idea what this is about. I know it's supposed to be some sort of a really great fantasy book. That's all I really know about it, and I've seen it on a lot of people's TBR lists, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna read it. And then as soon as I reserved it on ebook, it was like, yeah, we're like 800 pages, and I was like, oh, if there's some reason I can read 800 pages way quicker in person than I can on ebook. I don't know why. So I might see if the actual library has the actual book. I also want to get read Dorothy Must Die Stories Volume 3 by Danielle Page. I need to read this before I can read the last Oz book, and I've heard slightly disappointing things, so I will say my standards are a little bit low on these, but I just want to complete the series. I also want to read the Assassin Blade novellas. I think there's 5 novellas in here. And this is kind of kicking off the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have never read Sarah J. Maas, so I keep putting this off and putting this off. I'm not certain that I will love her writing, and I'm not certain that I will love these stories. So I think that's why I keep putting it off, but I really need to just bite the bullet and read the books and make a decision. Yep. I am also going to read the spring Reaper at the Gates, which I don't have right now. I am on the wait list for my library, and as soon as I get it, I think I'll be reading it because I am super excited about this one. I read Ember in the Ashes 2 years ago, and I read Torch Against the Night in January. So I've kind of been slowly reading it, and then this one came out this month, and I just want to read it now, but I will wait patiently. And I'm not going to go into much detail about Reaper in the Gates by Saba Tahir, by the way, because it is the 3rd book in the series. I also am going to try and read Crazy Rich Asians. Now, I wasn't going to read this. I think I'd heard about it before, and I was like, I don't know. This one's kind of a contemporary too, actually. And I saw a preview for the movie, and at first I was like, no. And then my friend's like, no, I want to see it. And then I saw another preview because I go to a lot of movies. And then I was like, okay, fine. So we're going to go see it, and I want to read it before I see it. And I think it comes out in August, so I'm going to give that a shot. And if you want to know what it's about, just watch the preview because I'm pretty sure they tell you absolutely everything you need to know in that preview. Middle, beginning, and end of the book. Yep. The next book I would like to get read is Never Fade by Alexander Bracken. I read Darkest Minds last month? Yeah, last month, and I really liked it. So I want to read this one, and I have a feeling I'm going to want to read the second book before I go see the movie because in my experiences, movies tend to spoil things in second books. Like even if it's the first movie in a series, they're like, oh, and we're going to tell you some things that don't happen until the second book. And I'm like, why? I haven't read the second book yet. So if I can get the third one read, I will. But I really want to get this one read before I see the movie. And we are almost done. I also want to get read Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I'm a little nervous about this one because I've heard some seriously mixed reviews. I've heard people that absolutely loved it. And I heard people that said that it kind of fell flat, that it didn't do well with the world building and some of the character development. And that makes me a little bit nervous because I really want to like this book. I love the cover and I like the idea of it. Like the premise sounds super great. Basically, we're following a girl who was raised very proper and her mother goes missing. And so she enters into the, I think it's like called the City of Sin or something like that, to go find her mother. And it's full of like pickpockets and liars and criminals and thieves and shysters of all sorts. So it sounds fun and amusing and I'm wanting to like it. So I'm hoping. And a carryover I have from the spring is Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I did read Golden Sun in the spring and I liked it. It had some things that I didn't love, so I'm really hoping I will like this one. It is thicker than the last two, and that's always a good sign for me. So I'm hoping to get this one read by the end of summer. I feel like I have all these other books to read, and it's not that I don't want to read this one, it's that I just have other books to read, so I need to get on that. And that is it. Those are the 24 books I'm hoping to read this summer. Now, I did something a little different when I picked these books. I kind of looked at the books back here that I have on my TBR shelf, and I looked at the books that I have requested from the library as well. So I'm hoping I will have a really accurate summer reads. I'm hoping. I do feel like, you know, I usually aim for 50%, but I feel like this time I might get more than 50%. I just might. So here's hoping. Let me know if you're planning to read any of these books that I talked about. Let me know down below because I definitely would love to do any sort of a read along with you guys and read them at the same time. Sometimes I am subject to what my library has available, but sometimes I'm not. So if you are planning to read one of these, let me know down below. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. Please come back on Tuesdays and Fridays because you will find me here then. And also feel free to click the little bell icon down there so you can be notified when I put up new videos. Apparently, YouTube likes to not tell people when my videos come up, which is a new thing. So if you really want to know when I have videos, click on the bell and it'll tell you such things. Thank you again for watching. I'll plan on seeing you guys very soon. Goodbye.